Hello, fourth graders. Welcome to Math Day 2. What we're going to be doing, we're going to have two skills that are reviews from what we've been working on since before our break. The first is we are going to decompose mixed numbers so we can subtract them. And the second is we're going to multiply whole numbers in fractions. All right, to start with our first skill of decomposing a whole number, or mixed number, excuse me, to subtract, we have this problem 3 1/3, and we're going to take away 2/3. So we're going to start by modeling that, and we see that we have 3 holes, 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes, and they're divided up into 3 parts, which gives us 3/3, 6/3, 9/3, and then we have 1 more third that gives us a total of 10/3. And when we think about fractions and how we can decompose them, that helps us to be able to understand how to solve these problems a little bit easier. So if I have 2/3, I can take that away. I'm going to take 1 away, that's minus 1/3, minus 2/3, and I see that I have 2 holes, 1 hole, 2 holes, and then I have 2/3 left over, 2 2/3. Now, that works from the modeling perspective, and we can see how that works. But let's do that with the algorithm. So we're going to have our 3 1/3, and what we're going to do is we see that we are subtracting the fractional portion first. So we have 1/3 minus 2/3. We don't have enough thirds. So what we do is we decompose this 3 into 2 and 3/3. We have our 2 and we have our 3/3. And what we can do from there is we can add them together. And we have 2 and 4/3. And we're going to subtract our 2/3. And that would be 4/3 minus 2/3 is 2/3. And then 2 minus nothing is 2. But what we did is we took the same idea that we had from our modeling and we just applied it to our mixed numbers. Here's another example. In just a second, once I pause. Here's another example for us to look at. We have 2 and 4/6, and we're going to take away 5/6. So we look at our fractional portion. We have 4/6, and we're trying to take away 5/6, so we can't do that. So we're going to decompose our whole number into one. We're going to take one of our holes and we're going to break it up into 6/6. So I have 2 and 4/6 here, and I'm going to take this hole and I'm going to think about it as 6/6. So now I have 6/6 and 4 more 6, which is 10/6. And now I can say 5/6 minus 10/6, which gives me 5/6. But I do not have 2 holes anymore because I turned one of those holes into 6/6. So now I have 1 hole. So now I can show you that using the modeling, but I can also use the same idea to solve using the algorithm. So I had 2 and 4/6, and I wanted to take away 5/6. So again, I don't have enough 6 to take away. So I'm going to decompose this 1. I'm going to make it into 1 plus 6/6 plus 4/6, which is 1 and 10/6. And I'm going to subtract my 5/6, which gives me 5/6. And then 1 minus nothing is 1. So 1 and 5/6. The second skill that we're practicing today is multiplying a whole number by a fraction. And if we model that, we think about it like this. This is 1/3 once, 1/3 twice, 1/3 3 times, 1/3 4 times. So what does that give us? Well, 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3, which equals 4/3. And then you're thinking to yourself, Mr. Warnamundy, what is wrong with this? It's an improper fraction. Well, it is, because we end up with 3/3 and 1 more third to give us our 4/3. So that's going to be 1 1/3, which is equal to 1 1/3. We can model this using non-unit fractions, so 3/8. We have 3/8 one time, we have 3/8 two times, which gives us a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6/8. So that's how we model multiplying whole number by fraction. If we want to think about how do we use the algorithm, we want to multiply our numerators by our numerators and our denominators by our denominators. So I make 2 into 2/1 because it's 2 wholes. And then I can multiply 2 times 3, which gives me 6, and my 1 times 8, which gives me 8, which gives me 6/8. 6/8 as a model, 6/8 with the algorithm. I'm going to slide down here and we're going to do another problem just with the algorithm. Let's say 4 times 3/15. Well, that's a tough one, but I think we can handle it. All right, so we could model this out. We could have 3/15 4 times, or we can use the algorithm. And if we use the algorithm, we have 4, which is 4/1. And when we have 4/1, we're going to multiply that by 3/15. We multiply our numerators by our numerators, which gives us 12. And then we multiply our denominators by our denominators, which is 15ths. We end up with 12/15.